Okay, welcome to a second video for the Betaflight playlist, and in this video we'll be going through the tabs individually, and some videos may have more than one tabs being explained, but we're gonna make it as simple as possible and not too much in depth. So first off, as soon as you plug in your drone, considering that you have done the prerequisites like get Betaflight, install the drivers and make sure everything works properly, and install the firmware onto your drone. This video is when your drone's firmware has already been installed. So if you don't know how to install the firmware, you can watch the last video of this playlist. Now, here on the setup tab, you will see that the drone is connected, and you can see different options like calibrate, accelerometer, erase settings, and activate bootloader/DFU mode. This is something that is now new in the Betaflight, that activate bootloader or DFU mode. That is something that's actually new. So here, calibrate accelerometer. So you have an accelerometer sensor that's generally just like a gyro sensor. It basically calculates the the tilt or the orientation of your drone. Basically, it's more of a centered or zero on the axis for your flight controller. So when your flight controller is exactly zero on the horizontal plane, therefore that that drone you see here that's shifting around on the screen, or generally just detects that your roll should be zero right here, and your pitch should also be zero. So roll and pitch should be zero right here. For now it's in my hands and it's not directly flat. You can't really see when it's exactly flat on the plane, on the X plane, but depends on how you mount your flight controller. You're going to calibrate your accelerometer, so then you can depict that. That's how your drone actually is flat on a flat surface. So there's different ways to do it, and we're going to get to that also. So first and foremost, I'm going to put my drone on a flat surface, and from here, so this is my flat surface right here, and from here I'm going to click on calibrate accelerometer. The drone is going to be steady, and it's done right here. So if the drone is like this and I press calibrate accelerometer, then that's going to detect the drone as being flat. So this is how you understand that if your flight controller is actually mounted differently, like slanted or horizontally, like this, or diagonally like this, even upside down like this, when you calibrate your accelerometer, your drone is gonna look like that. It's going to look like that on your screen. It's gonna look flat. So your pitch on your roll will be zero or very close to zero. Now, as you can clearly see, my drone is facing forward, but if I tilt it like this, you can see that the front of the drone is actually facing to the right. Considering that my drone is facing forward, the camera faces forward, and there's an arrow on my flight controller that tells me that this is where the drone faces forward, and this arrow faces forward also. You may not see it, but there's an arrow on flight controllers showing you where's the front of the drone. With those two things telling me yes, the drone is facing forward, the camera, and the arrow shows that it's facing forward, I should see that animation here showing me that that green arrow should be facing forward. And the fact that it's not facing forward and it's actually facing a little bit between east and going up to north, therefore I'm just going to make my drone face forward. In my point of view, you don't have to be actually straight. Just make it face forward, then click on reset Z axis. So now my drone faces forward. Now you can see erase settings. If I want to put that drone into an unconfigured state where I have not actually done any changes on it, like ports and so on, therefore I use erase settings. So all presets, all receiver settings, all adjustments, servos, motors, erase settings will remove everything and put that flight controller as a freshly new installed firmware. And this speaks for itself. I can activate bootloader mode. Now what you need to also understand in the setup tab is here you can see your instruments. So here, because of the accelerometer, here I can see a simulation of a compass and where my drone actually faces. Now here you have GPS, and I don't have a GPS installed. If I had a GPS installed, I would have magnetometer and compass. Let's go down to the system info. Here you'll see battery voltage. If I had a battery connected, you will see the temperature of the CPU, and I use the H7 processor, and this here have every single thing that to process this. And you'll see many different things right here, and we're going to skip that. We're going to go to sensors below here. Sensors, we don't have any barometer, sorry, we don't have any sonars or optical flow sensor, but we do have our gyroscope, accelerometer, and baro sensor. So below here you have your firmware info. And what I usually do when I've downloaded a firmware, it's stored on my computer. But if I download a firmware through Betaflight in the update firmware menu, therefore when it's downloaded off on the internet with the build, the specific build with all the different additional options that I put on, when I've installed it onto my drone, I'm going to click on download so I can have a backup. As simple as that. And here you can see options, and you can see what's in that right here. There's the motor protocol, Acro Trainer, LED strip, Pin.io, VTX, attitude hold. Uses the stuff here. Camera control. You see servos and OSD for that's basically analog OSD. Here you can see my network. It shows that it's online, and it's 4G, 10 megabytes a second, and RTT, and that's generally the network that my computer is using, basically for Betaflight. And that's it for the setup tab right here. So just bear in mind that your drone needs to be on a very flat surface, not looking flat in your eyes, but a flat surface. Click on calibrate accelerometer. No matter where your drone faces, calibrate the accelerometer like this. It doesn't need to be facing forward, but for facing forward, and to get your drone facing forward, you face it forward towards you, like you're going to be having your transmitter behind your drone like this, where you're standing, and you're going to have it face forward, and then you go and click on reset Z-axis, and here you can see that Z-axis has been reset, and then generally that's it. Now that's it for the setup tab. We'll be moving to the ports configuration and possibly power and battery tab afterwards. So stay tuned to the next videos. Thanks for watching, and let's get in the flow of this. We'll be done very soon.